All right, so we are here with Jimmy Sue. He is the infamous photographer, the guy who catches every single shot, whether it's good or ugly. Either way, it shows the determination of the athlete. And I feel that this is a huge part and perspective that we need to have within our sport because it keeps our sport alive, essentially. So thank you for being here. Jimmy, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I guess let's just dive right into it with how did you in sports, track and field kind of connect?
First of all, I was a student athlete back in my day. So maybe in elementary school, that's when I started doing track and field, and and just going there from there. So middle school, I did a little bit because we had a track and field youth meet in, down the street where I went to middle school. But that's when I went to high school. That's when I started picking up. One of the head coaches that was over there where my freshman year, he started going to those PE classes where I was there. He started recruiting because they need track athletes. So I came out to practice one day and saw history and became a student athlete. Ran 4 years, jumped 4 years, coached 3 years after that, and then got off the game a little bit and became a photographer afterwards.
Okay, so then how did you get into photography and are you specialized in track and field or do you pretty much do everything?
No, I specialize in track and field. That's my main sport, that I can photograph. It started back in about 2010, I believe. Uh, I started going back to my high school league meets, and then photographing my whole high school athletes over there, and then just expanded from my high school to league to the section, and then now it's stuck all over.
So what is your gratification with photography and track and field? Is it just being a part of the sport still or is it just
Mhm.
being able to see a certain perspective that we don't see as athletes?
No, it's definitely be part of sport. It's when you step away from track and field for a year or 2 or 3 years, you definitely miss it. So a way for me to get back to the sport was just to photograph, and it went from I don't know, I just went crazy from there.
So, I know of a few athletes that ended up going into the camera photography world, such as Ben Crawford, right? He was a student at Mater Dei. Then I
Hmm.
believe he transferred somewhere, but then now he's taking some great shots.
Yep.
How do you take the right picture? How do you find the right picture for each event?
There's no such thing as right. You just basically go with the flow, take whatever pictures, thousands of pictures you could possibly take, and then once you come home, upload it to your computer or edit from there, and then hopefully it's your style or however they like it, and then if they like it, then you'll just progress from there.
Okay. And how do you get into photography and specifically sports photography? Do you just show up or is there like a process to all
Uh,
these?
there, um, there is a process to it. You do have to have certain credentials depending on what meet you go to. Of course, the local, like we go to like a local dual meet, they're a little bit more lenient of letting anybody take pictures. But from like collegiate or to like the state meet or divisional meets, that you do have to have a certain credentials in order to get into the venue, get into the track or the field and shoot what you want to shoot.
Yeah. And so obviously when you come, you're prepared. You have multiple cameras, you
Correct.
have different type of lenses.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you're wearing the right clothes because you know the weather and things like that. But
Oh, yeah.
what's the flow of your photography?
During meet days, I usually wake, like let's say meet starts at 9 o'clock. I'm usually up by at least 2 3 hours before the meet. I usually once I get up, I get ready. The day before, I always get my stuff packed, so I don't have to worry about that at the day of meet. Uh, I actually have to have breakfast before I get to meet because during the meets There's no time to eat whatsoever. There's always something going on. Either it's running events, field events, talk to student athletes, coaches, parents, things like that. Once I get to the meet, it's usually about an hour before start time. I usually take 1 lap, 2 laps. Get if I have been to the facility, then I'll look around, see what kind of angles I like. Um, you know, talk to the students, see what kind of heats they're running at, or what kind of field events they're jumping at. Get a perspective of the whole venue and have fun. That's all you can do. Have fun.
Since 2010, you've seen the growth of these athletes. You've seen them from freshman year. You watched Michael Norman go through his career all the way to pro and taking pictures of him. What does the story tell from the camera's perspective about athletes?
Wow, that's a lot of growth. A lot of growth, and a lot of great memories of of them from even from like youth track to high school to then to collegiate and professionals. It's just a lot of great memories that I can capture and hopefully share it with them and to everybody else.
What big name meets that people know nationally and worldwide have you been to and can taking pictures of?
Oregon or relays, been there 1 year, and then Penn relays, been there the following year. Those were the big experience I've been to. But Penn relays is definitely one of my top meets I've been to. But there is a couple of meets that I'm planning to go to in the future.
Okay. And so how does it work when the environment doesn't fit, such as it's raining or it's a very cold day? How does that change?
You always have to prepare for things like that. You always have to look at the weather forecast. If it rains or cold, you always have to have protective gear for yourself and for your cameras. Because it is a pretty expensive piece of tool that you're carrying around the whole day.
Let's go. 20, 30. Go. 40, 50, 55. Come on. Let's go. 5 more. 5, 6, 7, 3 more. Come on. 9, 10.
Every rep counts. Train stronger, recover faster with Compex Muscle Stim.
Tell us a story about one of the most memorable shots that you have and the story behind it.
I would say maybe one of this one, Tara Davis. During that day, it was actually her birthday, probably about 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. So she, that picture actually blew up once I posted it and I gave it to her, and then she posted it. Just blew up the next day. I'm like, whoa, this is one of the biggest shots I've ever done. And another one that's Sydney McLaughlin when she broke that 300 meters record at Arcadia.
And so obviously you take thousands of pictures. Like I talked to you before and you're like,
Thousands.
man, I'm already at 3,000, for a weekend. Mm-hmm. So how do you pick the right picture? How do you choose 5 or 6 out of thousands?
Sometimes you have to pick the highlights of it. Like if there's a record that's being broken, like a state record, national record, of course you have to get those. I always try to get different athletes at different meets. Like if I got one of you a previous meet, then I'll try to get another athlete at a different week to submit. So that way everybody gets exposure. What I tend to do is I tend to focus on the field events. Of course, long jump, high jump, triple jump. Those are my favorite events to do. So you'll see me a lot at those events than other photographers. Most of the photographers that we see are at the finish line.
How tiring is it to go from a dual meet to a Mount Sac? So you may have a Thursday dual meet and then you have Friday, Saturday all day.
Especially during this time when I'm covering LA City section and Southern section, it's a back-to-back day meet, or you'll go Thursday meet for City and then you'll go a Saturday for a Southern section meet. Though those are very tiring because you're up on your feet all day at 2 meets, and after you get home, you have uploading to do. And then sometimes you have a lot of editing to do. So during a championship season, that's very tiring on me. But it's all fun. During like your regular season, those are really fun, especially at invites, Arcadia invite, Mount Second invites, the lower other invites that I go through every single week. Those are just one or two a week. Then that's not too bad on me, especially with my work schedule. Uh, I'll go Monday to Friday at work, and then Saturdays are meet days, Sundays are for editing, and and then repeat.
How long does it take to go through and do the edits with the pictures you choose?
I will edit. My thing is I'll go through every picture one by one. No matter what, I'll still edit them. I have it saved on my hard drive. Um, but usually in a good, let's say a invite, probably take me a good 3 to 4 days of editing. That's after I get off work. About I would say 2 3 hours of editing a day. So 2 or 3 hours editing a day with 3 to 4 days turnaround time.
Okay, so how does that work? Because if you're going 3 or 4 days and you happen to have a dual meet and an invitational, so that's essentially 3 different track meets. How does that even work? I mean, it sounds like you're just nonstop work.
During track, you just have to. There's no sleep during track season. It's just work, go to track, get home, eat something, edit till like late nights, and then try to go to sleep again as much as you can, 6 hours, 7 hours, and repeat.
Let's take it back to you in high school. What was one of your most memorable track meets?
Definitely Mount Sec. I remember that in my senior year. We were going to Mount Sec. We're running sprint medley, which is that time was 2248. One of our athletes didn't show up, so unfortunately, I wasn't supposed to run that day. I was just a cheerleader to my teammates. But I happened to went. Bought all my clothes just in case, because you never know who's gonna show up or not. Next thing you know, coach said, "You're in." They put me in the first leg, which is a 200 meters. It was kind of a moist day that time. Raining, the track was wet. Next thing you know, step on the track at Mount Sac. There's just those guys taller than me, 6'5". Looked around. I'm only guys about 5 feet. Oh man, how I got this? Just have fun. And Mark gets it. Go. Run. 75 meters. Okay, feel good. No base catch up to me. Next you know. All right. Whatever. Batons out to my teammates. That's all I do.
Obviously, as a high schooler, just being prepared to cheer your teammates on and then hop up and compete is always a great thing.
Especially
Exactly, right? So then you said you did 3 years of coaching.
Back to my high school, which is at Lincoln High School in the Alley State section. I coached for 3 years, primarily focusing on the long and triple jumps. First 2 years, it was a learning experience where you don't know what's going on. Especially coming from being a student athlete and a transition to a coach, you tend to joke with your student athletes a lot more. You treat them as a friend. The workouts were okay, but not compared to what I know now. The third year, we started making a lot of improvements. A couple of kids I coached went on to the city section, the prelims and finals, and then they broke record. They broke their personal records, which is all Act 4. They had lots of fun. But yeah, it didn't work out at the end after my third year. Um, I'm back, as a photographer, and I'm actually super happy.
I want people to understand the value of photographers. What you guys actually do is keep the interest and involvement.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, that picture with Tara Davis, that one went viral, and you took that picture, you posted it, but now people are sharing and talking about it. And that helps the sport stay alive.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
What do you think track and field needs as of now to continue to build the excitement around track and field?
It just needs to put up a lot more events, a lot more quality events. Definitely, putting on streaming services and TV helps a lot. But yeah, social as of right now, it's the big driving force of track and field is social media, because you do have a lot of outlets, and certain athletes are just sharing their videos, their pictures, the workouts, and then it just blows up from there.
It's good to know that a track and field athlete / coach is now a photographer, because you understand what the athletes are going through. Okay, this is her 4th jump and she already fouled 3 times. Let's get this picture, because the story behind it. So I really do appreciate that that you bring in all this knowledge and expertise into our sport and continuing to let it grow. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hey, Jimmy, great talking to you, learning about your athletic history, your coaching history, and obviously now your photography life and career that's happening. So thank you for that whole piece.
Well, hopefully we can get onto the track soon and get some pro pictures. And thank you. I'll see you guys next time.